If you are a busy teacher who is struggling to lose weight, then you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to show you exactly how I helped this teacher here lose 6 kilos in 12 weeks. So keep watching. I've worked with a ton of teachers in the past, and one thing that strikes me about teachers is that they're actually really terrible at putting themselves first. I'm going to explain. They're busy with kids, they're busy with homework, they're busy with getting assignments and lesson plans done. And a lot of the time, they'll either skip breakfast, they'll skip snacks before lunch, and they'll skip their lunch because they're too busy worrying about everyone else. And then what essentially happens is a lot of them end up building up a lot of hunger and end up making bad choices late at night, like a lot of other people, because they didn't put themselves first when they needed to throughout the day. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the plan that I utilize to help Chris lose weight. Now, things that you should know about Chris: he's a busy family man who has 2 kids and 1 kid on the way. He's also somebody that was actually pretty active in the gym. He was doing some CrossFit, but he wasn't seeing the physical changes that he wanted from his body. Now, this is where I meet Chris. Chris is somebody that I've worked with online in the past, and I've helped him lose weight in the past, but he obviously had fallen off the bandwagon for a couple of years, and he decided to redo one of my 12-week programs. The first thing that I did with Chris was I assessed how much he was going to the gym, because I wanted to reduce his calories, so obviously put him in a calorie deficit, which is the first thing you should be doing if you are trying to lose weight. Which I should mention, if you don't know what your calorie deficit should be, there's a link below in the description with access to my free calorie calculator, which I recommend you use because it will tell you exactly how many calories you should be eating to be in a deficit, which is the first step to lose weight. Once I calculated Chris's calorie deficit, then I made sure that that calorie deficit wasn't going to be so low that it affected him training at the gym 3 times a week. Chris was someone that liked going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, and the first thing I told Chris was like, I know that you like going to the gym 5 days a week, but if going to the gym 5 days a week is going to make you too hungry, which will make it hard to stick to your deficit, it's going to get in the way of you being able to meal prep and plan for the week ahead as far as you can when it comes to your food, then let's drop the volume down to 3 days a week. Get to the gym 5 days if we can. Let's not make that the standard. Now, because Chris has worked with me in the past, he totally understood and he agreed to that. The next thing that I did was I made sure that Chris was getting a lot of high protein snacks throughout the day. As someone who is busy and who is time poor, we made sure that he was eating a grab on the go breakfast, something that he could just grab on the go. As someone who is tight on time, because not only is Chris a teacher, he also has a side hustle on the side as a math tutor. I made sure to include things like high protein on the go breakfast recipes. One of my personal favorites to give clients is overnight oats, because we can make these in disposable containers. You can grab them from the fridge as you're leaving the house, and you can eat them at work or on the go. As I mentioned earlier, the next thing that I did was I made sure that Chris was getting a lot of high protein snacks, so a lot of high protein yogurts, high protein shakes. In the world that we live in today, it's actually pretty easy to get a lot of high protein options, so that wasn't a struggle at all. We just made sure that we kept a lot of high protein snacks so that he was able to get his protein intake relatively high. The next thing that we did with Chris to actually help him be successful during these 12 weeks is that we got his partner involved. We got her on board with the challenge. Chris found that if his partner was going to be doing this with him, he was going to find that his accountability was going to be a lot higher, and he was going to find it easier to do the challenge. Getting your spouse involved is something that's very easy if you join any of our 12-week programs, and we find that most people who try and lose weight and do lose weight with their spouse are significantly more successful than people who do it without their spouse. The reason being simple: your spouse doesn't have to lose weight, they don't have to gain muscle, but if they are on board with eating the same way that you're eating, if they're on board with cooking the same kinds of foods that you're trying to cook when you're trying to lose weight, you will have an accountability buddy. Somebody who's there with you 24/7, who's going to pick you up when you're feeling down, and who's going to make you stick to the plan when you don't feel like it. We didn't change Chris's training too much. We just let him keep going with his CrossFit style training. I'm a big advocate of you should follow the type of training program that you actually like doing. If you're the kind of person who likes doing CrossFit, keep doing CrossFit. If you're the kind of person who likes doing Pilates, keep doing Pilates. If you're the kind of person who needs a program that's tailored to you, that's where we help. But if you have something that's working for you, that you feel motivated going to because it makes it fun, you like the community, then keep doing that, because the program that you like sticking to is the one that you're actually going to see the best results from. The next thing that we ensured to make sure that Chris was hitting his calorie deficit is we gave him a step goal. Having a step goal every single day is a very simple way to ensure that you are in a calorie deficit. Yes, food should be the main lever that you're pulling to put your body in a calorie deficit, but a lot of the times there's going to be moments where you're not going to be perfect with your food. So we can make up part of that deficit by ensuring you have a step goal. Because Chris was pretty busy, we didn't make his step goal huge. We just wanted to make sure that he wasn't sedentary. Because he has a teaching job and he is working after school, he did find himself not taking many steps on days when he wasn't actively trying to. So during the 12 weeks, we made sure that we gave him a step goal that slowly increased over time as he found that his habits and his lifestyle started to maintain and catch up to his more active lifestyle. The other thing that we did with Chris, which isn't special to Chris or him being a teacher, it's actually something that we do with everyone, is that we made sure that he was having some type of measurement and body pic every single week. We find that body progress pictures can be really helpful for people because it lets you see the story that your body is telling. Chris was actually pretty motivated throughout the entire 12 weeks because he could physically see the changes that he was seeing in his body. He could see that his body was becoming more toned. He could actually start seeing some of his musculature come through. He was seeing his body fat go down. Now, when people don't take progress pictures and they're only relying on the scales, there can be a lot of problems with that. One, the scale is going to go up and down, as we all know. Yes, maybe you ate a little bit too many carbs and sodium the night before, you jump on the scale, and even though you probably have lost body fat because you've been good with your calorie deficit, your weight will go up because you've just got too many carbohydrates in your system that have grabbed on a lot of water, and that water retention makes it seem like the scale has gone up, when in reality, maybe your body fat has gone down. When you're taking progress pics or you're taking measurements of your body, which Chris was doing all three, I should add, he was doing a weigh-in on a weekly basis, he was taking measurements, and he was taking progress pictures, then you get a complete story that's telling you exactly what's happening with your body. Because Chris was actually able to see physical changes on a week-to-week basis, this kept his motivation high, alongside the fact that he was doing the challenge with his partner, which allowed him to keep his accountability even higher, and also alongside the fact that he was doing the program with a whole bunch of other people who are on the same journey as him. Now, if you're the kind of person who's been following a calorie deficit, you've been going at it alone, and you're feeling a little bit stuck, you feel like you've hit a plateau, or you just need a little bit of support, my next 12-week program's intake is open. You can join the waitlist in the link below, and if you're still feeling confused about your nutrition and diet, then YouTube recommends that you watch this video right here.